Good afternoon, children. Today, we'll start with the details of cell division by mitosis. In my previous class, we had discussed about the introduction of cell division, the need of cell division, the types of cell division by mitosis and meiosis, their differences, the basic ones, the phases of mitosis, that is karyokinesis and cytokinesis. And I told you that karyokinesis has 4 phases. It is pro, meta, ana and telophase. Then we discussed about the importance of interphase as the preparatory phase for the cell, which is very active for the duplication of DNA before setting into mitosis. After that, we had discussed about the importance of centrosome in animal cells and how it is absent in the plant cells. It comprises of 2 centrioles surrounded by asters all around, and how it is absent in the plant cells. I had also introduced the concept of spindle fibers in the cell division and how they are made up of microtubules and they are involved in segregating, that is dividing the chromosomes during cell division. Today, we'll continue with the details of prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. We'll have to refer to this diagram, children. Look at this. The first diagram. Now, please see that on the left side is the animal cell mitosis and the right side is the plant cell mitosis. What is shown here is interphase or the resting stage. Now, what is the concept of resting stage in this term, children? It means a non-dividing cell, right? So, as you can see very clearly, there's a normal structure of the cell with the cytoplasm, the nucleus, the distinct nucleolus inside nucleus, and the animal cell contains near nucleus a structure called centrosome, which initiates the cell division. The same, if you refer over here, is absent. The rest of the structures there, cellulosic cell wall, chromatin threads, nucleolus, but the centrosome is missing. Now, the point of importance here is the shape of the chromatin thread, which is network or thread-like slender fibers that can be clearly seen. This looks like a resting stage, but actually there are no visible signs that can be seen externally. But internally there's a very active involvement of cell because it is doubling the DNA. Last time we introduced you the DNA, that means the deoxyribonucleic acid, the substance that makes up the chromosome. Then, just now it is the preparatory part. Now this line depicts the cell division which has now started with the first phase called prophase. In your books, children, this has been divided into explanation part for early prophase and the late prophase. But there is no distinct boundary line of demarcation. How and when it advances, it's all stepwise and very gradual. Now compare the shape of chromatin material from interphase to the prophase. What you see is the shape which has become short, thick and very clearly visible, unlike to the previous one. So with the first thing is the change of the shape, and the second, which is very clearly seen, is the splitting of chromosomes. You can see that the duplication has started and the 2 centrioles, they've started moving or drifting away along with their aster rays. Now, what was aster? It was the centriole surrounded by the aster. Last time we have discussed how 2 centrioles surrounded by the aster make a centrosome, right? So the 2 have split apart. You can see them very clearly. They've started moving away and the chromosomes have become distinct or very clear. The third stage, the third change which can be seen is the sister chromatids. The sister chromatids means what make up a chromosome. We have discussed last time. Once again, I'll just show you what we mean by sister chromatids. Here, two arms of the chromosome, they are called as sister chromatids, which were attached at the centromere. So back to this diagram, children, you can see that the sister chromatids, they are still attached to the centromere, which can be very clearly seen. And what has become as a new substance to be seen is the spindle fiber. These dotted lines, with what you can see, the spindle fibers between the daughter centrioles forming achromatic spindle. What does it mean, children? First, write down the meaning of the term achromatic. See, chroma means the colored part of that substance therein. So A means without. This spindle, that is these dotted lines, they do not stain with any cytochemical dye. That is why they are called as achromatid. Though this is seen over here, but under the microscope, these structures, these lines will not take up any color. That's why achromatic spindle. And that is clearly seen between the two daughter centrioles. See, the centrioles started their journey to move away and they finally reached the opposite poles. And then the last change during prophase is that the nuclear membrane, see here it is very distinctly drawn, bold line is there, but then starts disappearing away. And even the nucleolus, if you can see over here, nucleolus was clearly seen, but starts getting disappeared, right? So that ends up prophase. Once again, let us revise, children. First thing I told you, starting from the interphase, that is the preparatory part of the cell, where the cell was actively involved in making of DNA, that is duplicating of the DNA. And when it entered the prophase, the first thing was the change of shape of the chromatin material, became thick, stout, short and clearly visible, attached to the centromere, that is a central place of attachment. Centrosome started becoming separated into two centrioles, which started drifting away towards the opposite poles around the nucleus. Then appearance of the spindle fibers between the two divided centrioles. You can clearly see, I told the meaning that they are achromatic, that is they do not take any color with the cytochemical dyes. And finally, the disappearance of nuclear membrane and the nucleolus, right? Same thing is here applicable in the plant cell. But what is the difference, children, is the absence of centrosome. So spindle, yes, is seen, but no centriole and no aster. We can clearly see there is no centriole. Look at the opposite ends over here. And there is also no aster that can be seen. What you can only see is, yes, the spindle fibers and the thick stout chromatin or the chromosome. Now also look at the journey of the chromosome, children. After prophase, see the chromosome, they were all scattered. But at the end of prophase, they have all started centering up towards the equator. They have started drifting away towards the central part of the cell. Then comes to the second stage of cell division, and it is called as metaphase. The most remarkable characteristic of metaphase is that these chromosomes, what have been duplicated already, they get attached to the spindle. The spindle appears in the prophase, but the attachment appears in the metaphase. And this attachment is very typical, children. For this, I'll just show you a simple diagram over here. If this is the chromosome, right, the centromere is the central part. This is the centromere. Then the spindle fiber, this attaches to the chromosome and passes through the centromere, right? The centromere is the only place where the spindle can attach. If in diagram, children, during drawing, if you draw it attachment towards the chromatid arms, it will be wrong. Also, if you draw it to any of the upper part, it will again be wrong. But only part what is correct is to draw like this. So that's the attachment, what happens in the metaphase, right? Then most important thing in metaphase is you can see them aligned up in the equatorial plate. That is all at the central part. They are very clearly seen attached, whether the animal cell or the plant cell, metaphase. Moving to the third phase, that is the anaphase. Here, the first thing that you can clearly see is that the centromere that is been attaching the two chromatids splits away, right? This centromere that was attaching the two chromatids is going to split, and after the split, it looks like an inverted V-shaped structure. Imagine the same thing as divided somehow from the center like this. How will it look? It will look like this. That is, it has divided into two V-shaped structures that are nothing but the divided chromatids. The second thing is the two sister chromatids, they separate and are drawn to the opposite poles. Is it not looking that there's a pull from the opposite side? Look at the inverted V shape. Something is pulling them over here and some pull is over here. How is that generation of pull or that force created? Is by the shortening of these spindle fibers. These spindle fibers, they start contracting, that creates a pull on opposite sides and they are separated. See them. They start the journey from the center for separation, and the completion of the same is at the poles towards the opposite side. Over here also in plant cell also the same thing. The metaphase equatorial plate was over, then the anaphase, there was contraction or shortening of the spindle fibers, and now they have separated, reaching the opposite poles, right? Now, did you notice, children, we have started with the chromosome number 4 over here. 1, 2, 3 and 4 in each cell. Whether animal also 4, this is just to depict a standard number of 4 chromosomes in both cells. But by the time we reach the anaphase, see, it has doubled. Because 4 has divided into 2 parts, 4 reaches one pole, the other 4 reaches the opposite pole. And this is how the duplicated chromatin material has reached the opposite poles over here. What also starts in anaphase is a furrow. Furrow means a depression, but this can only be seen in an animal cell and not in the plant cell. Reason? Now, the reason is that here in animal cell, the rigid cell wall is absent. So it's easy for the cell membrane to show a furrow formation which gradually deepens and forms up till the center, dividing the cells into 2. Then in plant cell, the same furrow is absent, but there is a plate that begins in the center, what we call as cell plate. We'll talk about this in our next diagram over here. This is the last stage of cell division. We call it as telophase. You can see that the furrow has started deepening up till it meets in the center like this, right? And divides the cells into 2 daughter cells. And do you notice that each daughter cell has 4 number of chromosomes, the way we had started from the parent? And that's the characteristic of mitosis, children, that the chromosome number is exactly identical to the parent cell. Also, whatever was lost in the prophase, that is nuclear membrane and the nucleolus, is recovered over here. You can see the nuclear membrane has come back. The nucleolus also has been there. It has come back again. And the duplicated centrioles were there, which form their distinct centrosomes later. Then, in plant cell, as I told you, that the furrow formation is absent, but there's a plate formed. Look at the structure of the cell, children, right? This is a dividing cell and the plate forms in the center, which grows towards the outside. So as you can see, the first place for the plate to form is at the center, which grows and touches to the plasma membrane or the cell membrane and divides into 2 daughter cells. So same thing, nuclear membrane is recovered, nucleolus is recovered, and the cell plate has divided the plant cell into 2 daughter cells. With that, the 4 phases, they clearly complete the cell division. That is, once again, back to the diagram over here. This is the entire summary of cell division, children. The prophase, the metaphase, the equatorial plate formation. The anaphase was the contraction of the spindle fibers and duplicating up of the chromatin material at the opposite poles. Then the furrow formation in animal cell and the cell plate formation in the plant cell, and that completes telophase. So when the telophase is over, children, the end product will be two daughter cells for the nuclear material, that is karyokinesis is over. The nuclear material has duplicated. Now what begins is the cytokinesis, or the division of cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, the portion outside, also divides, and the cell duplicates the complete parent cell into two daughter cells. Alright, so here we have certain self-made questions for today, children. You will kindly write down these. First question: if centrosome is absent in plant cells, then what initiates cell division in plant cells? A very logical question. That is, if this centrosome is absent in the plant cells, because in animal this is the part that initiates cell division, then what initiates cell division in a plant cell when this is absent? The answer is, plant cells without centrioles, they build vesicles, special vesicles from their dictyosomes. What are dictyosomes? It's just the other name for the Golgi apparatus. Remember, Golgi apparatus, you've studied in class 9, is a term for organelle, those flattened structures which are called Golgi apparatus in animal cell, but in plant cells they are called dictyosomes. So plant cells, they build special vesicles from the dictyosomes which are important for cell division. And that's how the initiation of cell division begins. How is cell plate formed in plant cells? Just now we discussed about the cell plate, this diagram during telophase. How is this formed? This cell plate is a dividing plant cell, a cell plate in a dividing plant cell is formed during telophase by the fusion of vesicles of phragmoplast. Now there may be a totally new term for you, what is a phragmoplast? But just for an introduction, maybe this is like an extra part for you, but for the queries to be solved, phragmoplast is a plant cell specific structure that forms during late cytokinesis. It serves as a scaffold. Scaffold means a raised platform. So it serves as a scaffold for cell plate assembly and subsequent formation of a new cell wall separating the two daughter cells. This may not be asked, children. This is just an extra I have written over here. But just to tell you what's a phragmoplast, it's like a platform-like structure seen in plant cells specifically, and that's for the cell plate formation by vesicles that are there. And what is cell plate made up of? This is also an extra question, children, but just for you, because maybe this is coming to your mind, how it is made up, what is the basic composition, etc. So what is the answer to this? Cell plate is made from vesicles made by dictyosomes and arranged by the microtubules of phragmoplast in equatorial region of spindle. These vesicles contain pectin, cellulose and hemicellulose, which contribute to the formation of cell wall. So these two are extra on your part, but just for those children who may have been getting this in your minds, that what is cell plate, how it is formed, what is the structure where it is deriving this part therein. So the answer is that it's made from the special vesicles from their dictyosomes, and they're important for cell division. Now let us talk about certain interesting facts about cell division. It's given in your text, you can also go through, but make a note of it like this. The first is, brain, which contains neuron or nerve cells, these do not divide further. Why? Because they do not have the centrosome. And once they are dead, they will never be replaced, children. So it's very interesting to know that the brain cells, they never divide from the birth, right, till the death. Liver cells. The liver cells, they divide once in every year or maybe 1 to 2 years to replace the damaged cells, right? You can write down, they divide. Liver cells, they divide once every 1 to 2 years, so to replace the damaged cells. Skin cells, they are continuously lost and replaced. And researchers say that a large portion of our household dust contains the skin cells. Meristem, What does the term meristem mean? It means the meristematic region or the growing region or the tips of root tip, shoot tip, etc. in the plant cells. They divide very rapidly and produce new cells. Germinal cells. They are the cells which are found in the reproductive organs, that is ovary and testes in animals and ovary and anthers in the plants. These undergo meiosis. Remember meiosis? The only division that is carried on during reproduction. And they produce gametes or the sex cells. Finally, uncontrolled or non-stop cell division may lead to tumors, and they may or may not be cancerous. Alright, so that completes the interesting part of the details about cell division. And now the significance of mitosis. Mitosis, we have already done, children, just to remind you, because in your previous class we have already done these. Mitosis causes growth, repair and replacement. So the same thing is given here. Growth of body for the new cells, repair of damaged and wounded cells, replacement of old and dead cells, that is at the replacement of blood cells or epidermal cells of skin, asexual reproduction in which unicellular organisms like amoeba or yeast cell divide, and finally maintains the same chromosome number in the daughter cells, just like the plant cells, just like the parent cells. Alright, so that completes the importance or significance of mitosis. Then coming to the next portion, cell cycle. This will be starting next time, but today I have framed up certain tasks for you children to write. Please note it, children. That's the homework for you today. Table of difference between mitosis and meiosis. I'll show you. We have discussed it last time, but this you will write down in your copies from page number 16. Page number 16, this is the table of difference between mitosis and meiosis, though I've already discussed how it is occurring in the body cells. Meiosis occurs in reproductive cells. Mitosis is for growth, repair and replacement, where meiosis for gamete formation. Mitosis occurs throughout life, whereas meiosis occurs during reproductive age only. Then, number of daughter cells produced are 2, here 4. Full set of chromosome. Remember, diploid, 2n passes to the daughter cell. Here half, that is haploid, or n number of chromosome passes. Then single or one nuclear division. Here 2 nuclear divisions that can be seen. Finally, the daughter cells exactly identical to the parent cells, and here they are randomly assorted, leading to genetic variation. So this is your homework table. As the first point, you will write down in your copies. The second task for today is diagrams of cell division. That is, these diagrams what you have discussed today, both in animals as well as in plants, till here you will draw. And practice also, children. Label everything from the stages, early and pro, then metaphase, early anaphase, late anaphase, then telophase, cytokinesis, everything you will draw. And then the next task for today, table of differences between animal and plant mitosis. Here, page number 13. Animal cells, asters were formed, whereas plant cells, asters are not formed. What were asters, children? These rays. These are not formed in the plant cells. This is the first difference. Second, animal cells, cytokinesis occurred by furrowing, whereas here cytokinesis by cell plate formation. Just to remind you here again, cytoplasm in animal cell was by furrow formation, whereas in plant cell it's by cell plate formation. Then animal cells, the mitosis occurs throughout the body for growth, repair and replacement, whereas in plants it's only at the growing tip for lengthening and also for the increase in girth at the sides. So this also 3 differences you will write down in the table. Please make a note, children, this homework. The table of difference between mitosis and meiosis, diagrams of cell division, plant cell and animal cell, then table of difference between animal and plant cell mitosis, page 13. Then all the notes that I have been giving from the beginning, please write down, children. Right? I'll remind you over here. From the beginning, I have given you from here. This was the first tabulated part saved in your phones. Please go through and write down for those who haven't done yet. Then these pages, if I mark, children, page 1, 2, 3 and 4 for the first class. Second class 5 and 6, then 7, and today's 8 and 9. All these should be compiled up in your notebooks, right? So 1, 2, 3 and 4 homeworks for today. The rest we'll do next time, children. So there are 2 tables, 1 diagram and the notes to be made up. Next time we'll finish this first chapter and we'll discuss about the cell cycle. All right. Thank you.